didn't get many tickets allocated, so they used a big screen at the Hawthorns at West Brom's ground, and fans went in and watched it on the big screen. And there was a massive fight, and the police were called, and it all got rather horrible. And the chairman of West Brom said, if we ever do another big screening like that, we'll do it behind closed doors. I didn't get it either, but that was what he said. So it's, I know traditionally, I keep going on about West Brom, it's just hard not to when you're in Wolverhampton. I have got a soft spot. I think I can say this, I actually lost my virginity in Wolverhampton. I've still got the receipt somewhere. But, this is, I know, what percentage, the people, can I just say congratulations on graduating today to the people at the front, and also congratulations on daring to walk through Wolverhampton dressed like that. That is brilliant. Are most of you from the area? Is that true? Or are people from outside as well? Yeah. You're from Hales, are you? You've come that far. I should have subtitles along the bottom here. Because I find in London people ask me where I'm from, and if I say the Black Country, people they're not really sure what the Black Country is. And you have to try and explain, and it's quite... There's always 2 or 3 things I always tell them. A friend of mine who is a Brummie, he got a job in Gornal, which is quite Black Country. And he said on the first day he went and made himself a cup of tea, and the bloke said, "Yeah, Cora, no take time." And he left at the end of the week. They frightened him. And there's another story which I think sums up the area beautifully, and I've told this story before, but I do love it. There used to be a local newspaper where I grew up called the Smethwick Telephone. Right, I lived in Smethwick. And I could never work out why, it was an odd name for a newspaper, the Smethwick Telephone. So I was on stage one night, it could have been Tipton actually, and I said, I've never worked out why the Smethwick Telephone was called the Smethwick Telephone. And this bloke said, "'Cause it was from Smethwick." Point. But there was a story in the Smethwick Telephone, which is still my favourite ever. It was about a woman from Rowley Regis. I don't know if you know Rowley Regis. A woman claimed that a Martian spaceship had landed in her garden, and she went out, and these small creatures came out, and she went and spoke to them, and she said she couldn't understand. They couldn't understand what she was saying. But if you've ever met anyone from Rowley Regis, you'd appreciate that would happen. But the last sentence of this is still one of the best things I've ever read in a newspaper. The last sentence will live with me forever. It said, "She watched as the alien craft rose into the sky and disappeared towards Dudley." That explains a lot, doesn't it? So, although I guess this is an honour, and I'm very, I'm a big fan of education. When I was a student, back in the 80s, being a student was all about getting drunk, watching daytime television, and not doing any work. I'm worried, yeah, I'm worried that a lot of you are nodding. Do you still eat pot noodle, or has that stopped? Oh, good. And then when I got the degree, it was a kind of what now, to some extent. But I did think it really changed my life, getting a degree, honestly. I really felt like for the first time in my life I'd really achieved something special. And I was really, for a bit, quite full of myself, to a point where I was in a pub on the Hagley Road, as some of you might know, goes into Birmingham, if you ever go there. And they got electricity and everything. It's great. And a bloke said something to me. I'd just got my degree, and I said, "Look, if I want an opinion, I'll ask someone of a slightly higher intelligence." And he beat the hell out of me. And quite deservedly. And I woke up the next morning, I looked in the mirror with a black eye and stuff, and I thought, you know, I deserve that. And I went and sought him out in the pub and thanked him. Because I think it is important that even if you get a degree and you're doing well, I was the first person to go to university, polytechnic or university in my family, and that might be true for some of you guys as well. So I think it's quite important that, although you obviously, between ourselves, you are superior to the rest of your family, it's best to keep it under your mortarboards. Is that what they call them, those flat hat mortarboards? When I grew up, education in Smethwick was such a rare thing that if you got something like GCSE geography, you'd have your picture in the paper holding up a map of the world, wearing a mortarboard, and the headline would be, "Local egghead scoops the big one." So that's all changed a bit. But I did feel, growing up in Albury and Smethwick, that I thought that kind of my destiny was to leave school, work in a factory until I died, basically, and that would be it. And education completely opened my head and opened my entire life, a lot more than being on telly or anything ever did. It really did change me massively. I do think it's a brilliant thing. I think it's fantastic that all these beautiful young people here, male and female alike, have done it, have done the job and achieved it. And I'm very glad to share it with you today. So thank you very much, Chancellor, and to Ruth for what I'm told is an encomium, is it called? Encomium, that's what that thing is when they talk for ages. And I'm going to ask you, I'm sorry Ruth, I didn't mean that in a bad way. I might be glad of that when I get older, I can't remember anything. I can keep that as a sort of aide de memoire. So yeah, thank you very much. Although I jest, it is an honour, and congratulations to everybody here. And to your family, to families who I presume you should be very proud of them. It's a brilliant, brilliant thing to just be clever. So cheers and thank you very much.